Let's go!
Hey guys, it's Retrohead here, welcome back to another video. In today's video I have quite a few really good Carboot finds to show you. As I recently went to quite a big Carboot and picked up some really cool bits for the collection. I've even picked up games complete in box from the Atari 2600 all the way up to the PS5. So there's a lot of variety to show you here, but some really cool bits and really cheap bits. So I'm really looking forward to showing you what I've found. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and please subscribe to my channel Retrohead. Without further ado, let me show you these games. So the first thing I'm actually going to show you is a console that I bought at the Carboot. Now this was actually boxed, but I'm not going to be keeping the box, so I'll put a picture of the box in a minute. It is in absolutely terrible condition. I have never seen a console box in worse condition, but it was very cheap and that's why I picked it up. So as you can see here, I have an original Mega Drive. Now this is in pretty good condition. There's a little bit of fade in there, but there's no scratching on it at all really. It's actually in quite good condition. Now as I said, I'm not going to be keeping the boxes, so I'll put a picture in now. It's literally the worst console box I've ever seen. I've never seen a console box in worse condition, so that has already gone in the bin. As you know, if you're not familiar with the channel, I don't collect Sega. My dad collects Sega. I collect Nintendo, PlayStation, Atari and Neo Geo. My dad exclusively collects Sega, so I'm going to be giving this to him. Now, I have tested this, and it fully works, mostly. You may have saw that I did a short on my channel about it, and it works, the sound works, it looks fine when you're looking at it. But the only thing that looks a little bit strange is whenever you're playing, every now and again, a little red line flashes up. I'll put a picture up on screen now, but like, when you're playing, a little red line sometimes flashes up, which is really strange, because it works fine apart from that. Like, it sounds great. The image is really good, especially when I used it on an old CRT as well. So I don't really know why that red line keeps appearing. Obviously, you couldn't sell it as fully working when it's like that. But he can still use it absolutely fine. For a tenner, he's got a Mega Drive that he can use, which is near enough working fine. So I thought that was an absolute bargain. Obviously, it's a risk picking up consoles at the Carboot. But these old consoles, a lot of them were built so well. Like, they're so, like, robust. Like, I didn't have many doubts that this wouldn't work. As I said, it near enough works. It also came with two controllers. One of the controllers is a little bit dodgy, but the other one works absolutely fine. So really good pickup for only a tenner. Essentially an unboxed Mega Drive, because that box is in too bad condition. But still an awesome thing to find for only £10. You don't see retro consoles that cheap very often anymore. And next up is a pickup that I feel like you would have had at the Carboot quite often a few years ago, but now it's just getting rarer to find stuff like this. So I have two DS games here, and they wanted both for £5. So I was just going to pick them both up because they're both pretty good titles. So the first one is Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, and the second one is Super Mario Bros. On the DS. Now both of these are complete and they're in really good condition, like really clean. I'm going to have to check before I trade them in. If I trade them in, I might just trade them in CX, but I'm going to have to check. They're probably in better condition than my copies, so I might well be swapping some of these out for my copies. I'm not sure yet, but really good pickups for only a £5 for both, because I think this is like a £6 game on its own. I think Super Mario Bros. Is like a £15–20 game. I think they give you like at least £8 voucher. So I said, don't know if I'm going to trade them or just keep them to the side as yet. But really pleased to pick this up, because you don't see stuff like this very often anymore. It either doesn't happen very often, people selling good games like this that cheap at the Carboot, like Mario games, they're obviously quite good. Or like someone's beating you to it, like it's already gone. Really pleased to find these. And also, if you didn't have Super Mario Bros. In your collection, what a game to pick up for essentially only £2.50. Probably my favourite DS game ever released. So I'm going to save the Atari 2600 games till the end, because I'm really excited to show you those. But I have a few more modern games to show you here. One PS5 game and 4 PS4 games, and these were only £2 each. Which, again, is a pickup that I feel like a while back you would have had quite easily. Maybe not a PS5 game, but PS4. But now, these are obviously quite decent titles. They're quite obvious, they're good franchises to people. And they were still sitting there for £2 each. So really pleased with these. I'll show you the PS5 game first. It's actually worth surprisingly little, but still really cool to find a PS5 game for only £2. And that is Forspoken. Now, I don't have a PS5 in my collection. I've never played one either, and I know nothing about this game. I had never heard of it until I saw it at the Carboot. So I'm going to read you a little bit on the back about this one. Mysteriously transported from New York City, Frey Holland finds herself trapped in the strange and treacherous land of Arthea. In search of a way home, Frey will venture deep into the heart of corruption, where she must battle monstrous creatures from the powerful titans and uncover secrets that awaken something much more from within. So that sounds pretty cool. Now, I'm not going to be keeping this, so I don't have a PS5. CX sell this for £6, and I think I already know someone who's going to want this, someone who I know who actually has a PS5. So I'll probably just give it to him for a couple of quid, or if not, I'll just give it To be fair, I'm probably just going to give it to him because it's in really good condition and he'll appreciate that. Although, I've just realised I've opened it up and it's actually got a reversible sleeve. What's on the other side of this? Oh, it's like just a different cover art. Yeah, didn't notice that out of the Carboot. Yeah, I think I already know someone who's going to want this, so if I've only paid £2 for it, I'll just give it to him. But yeah, pretty cool thing to find for only £2. And the next game, and start of the PS4 games, and that is Disney The Incredibles Lego on PS4. Again, all inside, good condition with the good condition disc. I think these discs are all really clean. Yeah, they're really clean. No manual on this one, but I think because it's got like this text, it didn't originally come with a manual. Although, that disc is on the wrong side. And I'm going to have to swap that now, because that is going to really annoy me if that stays on the wrong side. But yeah, The Incredibles Lego is a game that I've never played, but to be honest, I'm not that fussed about it. I do like the Lego games, but I have no interest in The Incredibles, really. So, I'm not going to be playing this one. I think this trades in for like £4 or £5, so probably just going to trade this one and CEX. And the next two, I'm really torn with what to do with, because I'm trying not to keep too many modern games in the collection, because I'm trying to collect a lot more of the retro. But these are both really cool looking games. So I have Sonic Forces and Sonic Mania Plus. And these are both games that I don't have on the Switch either. So I really don't know what to do with these. I've really downsized my PS4 collection to the stuff that I really want to play. So I feel like I'd be like stupid to keep these. This does trade in for a little bit. I can't remember how much. But I could definitely make more than £2 voucher on it. And this one I think trades in for like £10 or £11. So that's a really good one to find. And I'll show you inside. These are both, again, in really good condition. No manual on that one, but this one does have the manual and also the reversible Mega Drive sleeve, which I'll show you is really cool. Check out how cool that is, especially with the blue in the background as well. Sonic Mania Plus Mega Drive sleeve. And it actually looks like really like an original Mega Drive game, so that is sort of tempting me to keep it even more. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not yet, but if I don't want to keep it, I can get an £11 voucher from CEX. So either way, for £2 is an absolute win. But yeah, that is a really good stack of games to find. And again, there's some really good titles in there, like Mario's and Sonic's, especially that Sonic Mania Plus is really cool. Again, not sure which of these I'm going to keep or end up trading in CEX, but either way, it was a great find. And if you can, help me out, let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Sonic Mania is worth keeping in the collection? If you've played it, let me know. Or do you think I should trade it in for an £11 voucher? Do let me know in the comments down below. So here I have the box of Atari games that I picked up here, and this is such a cool pickup, and I do have footage of this one, which I'll show you in a minute. But how cool is this to find at a car boot? You don't see stuff like this at the car boots, hardly ever. I only have a couple of Atari 2600 games in the collection, so to find all of these at one car boot is absolutely amazing. And I asked how much these were, and they said £10 for the box. And I could not have picked them up quicker. It was actually from the same stall that had that Mega Drive. That's why there's a copy of FIFA 95 in here. And also, I'll show you in a minute, there's another Mega Drive game. Nothing crazy, it's another football game. But still, a very cool pickup to find for £10. It's like absolutely crazy. And here was the other Mega Drive game, Super Kickoff. Again, not a crazy game, but I can imagine a pretty fun one. But yeah, those games are going to be pretty hard to show you standing here. But now I'm going to show you those Atari games in a lot more detail. So as you can see, here I am here looking through this box of Atari 2600 games. Now, I don't really have any idea of the value of Atari 2600 games, but I just knew that these were boxed. And to see boxed Atari 2600 games at a car boot is pretty unheard of nowadays. So when I asked about how much they were, they said only £10 for the entire box, so I knew I had to pick these up. Obviously, I didn't really know what was in the box and how many were complete and stuff, but now let's look at these games in much more detail. So I've got the camera set up here, as you can see. I'm just doing a quick overview of the box. As you can see, there's some absolutely awesome stuff in here. And again, this whole lot cost just £10, which is just brilliant. As you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Also a bonus Mega Drive game. So 14 games in here, which is so good. So that's well under £1 each. And there's some absolutely amazing stuff to show you in this box. So we'll start off with the two things that aren't overly interesting, that is these two Mega Drive games. You can see here, FIFA 95 is a big rip on the side here. But it is complete with a manual, so as I said, my dad collects exclusively Sega stuff, so I'm going to give both these to him. He might literally just want to use these cases to put a more expensive game in. Yes, this case is ripped here, but this is a really clean case, so he might just want to use it for that. He might even have both of these in his Mega Drive collection already, I don't know, but Either way, they're going to go to him, so I'm not bothered about keeping those. So now let's get started on the Atari games. So the first thing I have to show you here is Frogger on the Atari 2600. But as you can see, this is the only game that doesn't have a box, to go underneath it. And also, that is a spider egg, as you can see there. As when I bought these games, and I've literally only just bought these games, I bought them earlier today, I've not had a chance to clean these up yet, so I'm definitely going to have to wash my hands after this. But they are not in the overly greatest condition, and that is because the person who sold me these said that they were kept in a stables for absolutely, well, I think I got the impression of decades, and not touched, and that is why that Mega Drive box is so, filthy. So, yeah, I do need to do a lot of cleaning up of these, but they're still so cool. So that's Frogger, pretty cool to see in the box there. Sadly, it's not got the whole box, but it's still nice. So the next game I have here, and this is one that I know zero about, and that is Mega Mania on the Atari 2600. Now this one really, considering the age, isn't in too bad condition. All of them have their cartridges in, obviously. The cartridge on this one is a little bit bad, as you can see. It's all faded. It's not damp or anything, it just looks like it is. This is probably the worst condition cartridge of the lot, but the cartridge is still there. And also the manual, as you can see inside, is here as well. And there are some really, really cool colours in this. As you can see, slightly water damaged, but it's still there, after all these years. I think it's pretty amazing to still see all this stuff just, still there. It's rare enough that you still actually see the cartridges every now and again, but to find all these boxed, with most of them with the manuals, is just crazy. Next up is a game that is widely regarded to be one of the worst games of all time, and that is E.T. on the Atari 2600. But just because this game has been covered so much, the fact that I've got this in my collection now is pretty cool. This box isn't the greatest condition, as you can see, but again, considering they were in a stables for decades, I'll take it, it's not horrendous. And it's got lots of bits and pieces inside, so as you can see, cartridge here, and this cartridge is in much better condition. Again, as you can see, it's a little bit dirty, it does need a clean, but it'll be absolutely fine. It has two manuals, one in colour and one without colour. I think some of them have got different languages in and stuff like that. And as you can see, the box here, amazing artwork on the front of that one. And on the back there, as you can see, look at that family there. They're having a brilliant time playing E.T. As you can see at the bottom, 1982, and just the fact that this box is still here is so amazing. Next up, in this game has got some iconic artwork on the front, and that is Pac-Man. Look at how cool that is. And again, this box is actually not too bad considering, it's not it's not as mucky as some of the others. Some of them are quite dirty, but this one's not so bad. As you can see, not too bad box on this one. I think this one was complete with a manual as well when I checked. Yeah, I only checked a few of them there, so this one is complete with a manual. Again, it's a little bit damaged, but it's not too bad. Look at how good that artwork is in there. That is so cool. I haven't actually had a proper look at these yet. That is so, so cool. And again, the cartridge is also in here, and I think this one, yeah, after a clean, this one should clean out quite well. But yeah, a really good one to find. Pac-Man is such an iconic game. To have the Atari 2600 version is so cool. And I just can't believe how good that artwork is, and the fact that it still looks this cool after all these years. The next one is one that I've never actually heard of on the Atari 2600, and that is Combat. That is literally it for the title, just Combat. I would guess this is quite an early one because it's sort of got that really simple box. The really early Atari games had really simple boxes and that, just the word Combat. Some of these later ones have got cool titles, ones that sound a bit different. Where does it say the date on these? Oh, here. Yeah, 1978. So that is quite an early one. Again, I think it was released in about mid-70s, 76, 77, something like that. So this is quite an early release. And look at that. I mean, you just do not see stuff like this anymore. You hardly even see this sort of stuff in gaming shops, never mind at Carboots. And the cartridge, yep, here is the cartridge. And that is in quite good condition. Yeah, pretty clean that is. As you see, the box isn't in overly good condition. But the fact that it's from 78, not too bad at all. Next up is another game, and it's got some absolutely amazing artwork on the front, and that is Berserk. Look at how cool this one is. I mean, that is brilliant artwork. Now, this box seems like it's bulging a bit, but I don't think it had anything extra in when I checked. I think it was just the manual and the game. So we have the manual here, great artwork on there as well. Does this one have a year? Yeah, there it is there, 1982, Atari. It's, oh, look at how cool, that is just... That is brilliant. This is proper geeky stuff to me, reading through the manuals, but I am a retro gaming geek, so I will have a closer look at that after this video. A little bit of peeling on the sticker there at the end, as you can see, but I'll be able to glue that back down fine. And that isn't too bad at all, really. A little bit of damage there, but nothing particular. Yeah, that one's good. And as you can see, this box isn't too bad. He says, looking at that rip there, which I didn't actually notice as much. Okay, this box isn't the greatest, I take it back. But the fact that it's probably from, was it 1982, was it? Spider egg there, which is, yeah, nice. I'm definitely going to have to wash my hands after this. But yeah, the fact that this is from 1982, again, that box isn't too bad considering. And before I show you any more of the games, it did also come with a couple of random manuals just thrown in the box. So we have Pitfall, Harry's Diary manual. I guess this is from Pitfall on the 2600. Never ever seen any gameplay of this game, but the manual for it is here. Pretty random, but pretty cool. And this manual is really cool, and that is an original Atari 2600 user manual, as you can see here. Really, really nice. Like, this is a cool thing to have in the collection. You ain't going to see much like this anymore. 1982, so it's obviously not an original one, because the 2600 came out in, I'm going to take a random guess. I think it's somewhere around 76, 77. I'll go with 77, but I'll search up and put the information on screen, but I think it's 77 or 76. But I'm going with 77. But anyway, really nice manual here. This obviously isn't the original one, as I said, from being 82, but to find that is just so cool. Next up is, in my opinion, one of the coolest ones, and I love the box this is in, and that is Spider-Man. And this one's cool because it's in one of these boxes that just opens up like that, which I wish they all were, because it's like much more robust. But the box art on it is so amazing. Like, really cool. This reminds me of, like, the Konami boxes on the Nintendo Entertainment System. It's got that silver, like the Konami style ones. But this is another one from 1982, as you can see there. Go further inside. So the manual is here, as you can see. And that is so cool. Look at the colours and that artwork. It's just amazing. A lot of people don't collect Atari stuff, because I've heard people say, like, the artwork isn't as good as stuff from, like, the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo. But I'll agree, it's not as good as Super Nintendo artwork, but, like, it's still pretty cool. So inside here is the cartridge, as you can see, and that is in pretty good condition. Again, got some information about it on the front, a lovely picture and that. And this is a different shape one, but they actually did quite a lot of ones that were different shapes. And what I thought was cool about this when I opened it is this is the insert, as you can see here. But it's actually branded Spider-Man. Like, you don't, like, games nowadays, like modern games, are just not packaged this nicely. You don't get modern games that are packaged this good nowadays. Like, the fact that the insert on this is branded Spider-Man is, like, really cool. So this is probably one of my favourite ones in the box. But in my opinion, not as cool as Donkey Kong on the Atari 2600. Now, this has been a game that I've been looking for absolutely years, and as you can see, this box is not too bad at all. Now, sadly, this one doesn't have the manual, but the fact that the box is, like, this good, really, obviously it's going to have whitening and creases in that, but this is from, I think this was from the early 80s, as see on the back there. Yeah, 1983. Yeah, this is so cool to have, and the fact that, like, I'm a huge Nintendo fan and like collecting the random stuff, so to get something like this at a car boot is brilliant. As you can see on this sheet here, the amount of, like, dust and leaves, like, there's actually been, like, full-on leaves come out of some of these games. So the fact that these boxes aren't mouldy or anything is just incredible, really. But I'm going to try and open this one as gently as I can. Now, this is actually the French version, as you can see on the back here, which doesn't bother me at all. I'm not going to be playing this game, so I don't even have a 2600. Is it something that I'll get in the future? Potentially. Now, I've got a few games to play on it, but not anytime soon. To be fair, I probably won't. I don't need to start collecting for another console, but you can see why I picked these up for only a tenner. But check out how cool that is, and it's so weird for Nintendo to have, like, a different company, Atari, with a Nintendo game on it. Like, when do you ever see that anymore? They also released Mario Brothers on the 2600, and every now and again, Nintendo release a different game, one of their games on a different system. One of the most notable being the Philips CDI had a copy of Hotel Mario released for it. Also, another notable one was just a really random home computer. Had some Mario typing games on there called Mario Teaches Typing, I believe, which is super cool. But this one is more notable, obviously, Donkey Kong and Mario Brothers, because Atari 2600 was much more popular. So yeah, to have that is so cool. And that Donkey Kong is really scary as well. But yeah, great artwork, and such a cool Nintendo piece to have in my collection that I've been looking for absolutely years. And I did not expect to find it at a car boot. So the next game is one that looks pretty cool that I know nothing about, and that is Blueprint, as you can see here. Now, this box wouldn't be too bad if it wasn't for that damage at the bottom there, which is a huge shame. But again, when you're picking them up this cheap, you just can't complain. And bearing in mind these were stored in a stables for decades, which hurts a little bit, the fact someone would treat games like that, but there you go. See, here is the cartridge here, blueprint, getting a little bit of whitening on the edge, but that isn't too bad at all, really. And the manual on this one is smaller, which is strange. But still loads of information in there. So yeah, I know nothing about this game. I'll have a little look at the screenshot on the back. I literally know zero about it. It's made by Midway, so it's probably going to be a decent game, to be fair. Again, can't play it, but I will be searching out some gameplay of these, just so I can actually see what they are like. But yeah, a really cool one to see there. Next up is a game that I'm a bit more familiar with, and that is Defender. As you can see here, cool $4.99 sticker on there, but that artwork on the front is nice as well. And this box isn't too bad at all, really. Like, the blue is still really nice. It's not faded or anything. To be fair, none of these games are faded, which is the most shocking thing. I guess they just hadn't seen the light of day for, like, decades. But moving on inside here, it's been opened quite neatly as well compared to some of the others. There's a little bit of a rip there, which is a shame, but it will help me get inside the box. So the cartridge is in the top here. As you can see here, that is pretty nice. So again, I only checked a few of these out before I bought them, but I had to buy them pretty quick, really. So I only checked a few of them out, and I've literally just got back from buying them. But inside here, we also have the manual here. A little bit of a crease, but that's absolutely fine. Again, great artwork, and this will show us a bit of the game as well. Bit more pictures there. Oh, look at that. That is so cool, that is. And then goes into all different languages behind. It's quite a thick manual, that one. But yeah, I am a little bit more familiar with Defender, seen a bit more footage of it. But again, Atari is something that I've never got into collecting. Partly just because I've never really found the games before. So it is a pretty exciting pickup to hopefully sort of get a bit more knowledge of the Atari 2600s. It's a really interesting system. Just one that I've never really found any games for. And the next game I have here is called Dodge 'em. Now this one is one that I've never heard of either. A little bit of crumpling on the box, but I should be able to get that looking a lot neater than it does currently. This one is from 1986 at the bottom there, so a bit of a later one. But I really do like the pink on that box. It's a pretty cool colour. And it looks pretty good with the white writing on as well. But let's go further on inside and take a look at the contents in here. Cartridge should be nice and easy to get out. There we go. Yeah, that is in good condition. Looking pretty nice, that is. And I don't know if this one had the manual or not inside. Oh yeah, it did, this one. Manual here, as you can see. Yeah, that's not bad at all, really. This one looks older, but it's actually a later release. But pretty cool pictures in there, actually. Oh, there's a little bit of gameplay there. Again, no zero about this, but I'll search out a bit of footage after this video. But yeah, that is a pretty cool looking box. And again, Dodge 'em on the 2600. Is this a game that you know anything about? Because I didn't even know it existed. And the final game that I have in this box here is called Wizard of War. And this is one of the coolest box arts in my opinion. That's so cool. That's a bit sort of Dungeons and Dragons sort of stuff, that is. What year was this one from? 1982. Oh, not that's quite interesting. 1982 Coleco Industries, which I guess is the same people that make the ColecoVision. But here we have the cartridge, Wizard of War. That is not in too bad condition at all, which is good. And another one of these smaller manuals. Little bit of a rip in the back there, but that doesn't matter at all. No colour on this one, which is a bit of a shame, but see if there's any sort of pictures of the gameplay. Oh, look at how cool that is. Getting ready to play, and check out that TV. You don't get you don't get dials on the side of your TV no more. What do we have inside here? Some of the characters. That is so cool. And then a little bit of the game here. Escape floor, walling cluster, radar scanner, and escape door. Yeah, I have never ever seen any footage of this one. It's already going on to a different language there, as you can see. Yeah, looks pretty cool. Know nothing about it, but I do know that that artwork on the front is really nice. So yeah, that was the final game, as you can see. Some absolutely amazing games in this box. Some that I know a little bit about, some that I know zero about. But to find stuff this cool at the Carboot for that cheap is just absolutely amazing. So as you can see, some absolutely amazing games picked up there. Some from the late 70s and a lot from the early 80s. But to find those still boxed at the Carboot in 2025 is absolutely crazy. I was so excited to find those. I know they're not in the best condition, but the fact that the boxes are still there after all these years is pretty incredible. And as I said, the one that I'm most pleased with is Donkey Kong on the Atari 2600. This is a game that I've been looking for absolutely years, and to have it boxed for under £1 each, because there was over 10 games in that box, is just crazy. This is going to look really cool with another Atari 2600 game that I have. This one's only loose, but that is Mario Brothers, the arcade game, which is just so cool. And these two next to each other is just so nice to have. And that artwork on the front is really nice as well. And I just wanted to say this about this game as well. So you know this Donkey Kong Bonanza that has just came out? Imagine if Nintendo made Donkey Kong look like that. I mean, like, they would be in so much trouble. And Mario looks completely different. He looks more like the Mario from that weird Mario film that was released in the 90s. But just such an awesome thing to find. I never thought when I turned up at the Carboot I'd be adding a Nintendo item, essentially Nintendo item, to the collection that's this cool for essentially under £1. So an amazing find here. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, please subscribe to our channel Radiohead, and also let me know, what was your favourite pickup of the day? Mine has got to be that box of Atari 2600 games, as I could not believe it when they said just £10 for the entire box. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, please subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!